गाने का जो उसका जो फैब्रिक होता है वो अरेंजमेंट से बाहर निकल के आता है. Good thing about Arman is he was always very focused about what he wanted to do. You know, you spoke of Khayyam Saab, how Lakshmikant Pyarelal Saab would, you know, jam with Raj Kapoor and they would understand exactly what he wants. जिंदगी में जिंदगी भर गम दिए, जितने भी मौसम दिए सब नम दिए.
Mithun, welcome back on Bollywood Hungama.
Thank you, Faridun. Good to connect with you again.
Congratulations for the music of Khuda Hafiz. 2 songs have come out. People are raving about it. And I believe you've done the full album. How important is it for you as a music composer to do an entire album?
Actually, on this topic, Faridun, my views are really neutral. क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि it really depends on the director कि मैं कौन से director के साथ काम कर रहा हूँ, तो that makes a difference for me. There are certain filmmakers who come to me who prefer to work on a full score. You know, whether it is Karan Malhotra's Shamshera, I'm doing the full score there. I worked with Honor in the past, I've done the full score. Now Khuda Hafiz, Farooq Kabir also was very clear that he wanted to work on a full score. At the same time, you know, some of my most popular work has come on shared soundtracks. Whether we talk of Basik Pal, you know, or we talk of Anwar, or we talk of Ashiki 2, Murder 2, and lately Kabir Singh. So that's, you know, evidently that's something I enjoy as well, as long as there is clarity and there is transparency between the composer and the director about on what lines are they working. I think I'm open to both of it.
And I think you're one of the very few filmmakers who actually asks for a script narration for the music. Now, this is something which is not new. Like in the past, it was not new. For example, like someone like Khayyam, for example, he read not only the novel, not only the script of Umrao Jan, he also read the novel on which the film was based. So any great music composer has done that in the past. But I believe there are certain people who have reservations.
I think it's to each their own, फरीदुन. जो लोग comfortable है, क्योंकि कई बार समय की भी पाबंदी होती है. People don't have so much time also, and I completely respect that. But for me to give my best, you know, I'm in this profession for the journey. इसके सफर का एक अपना मजा है. You know, I've grown up listening to stories of how, you know, you spoke of Khayyam Saab, how Lakshmikant Pyarelal Saab would, you know, jam with Raj Kapoor, and they would understand exactly what he wants. And I think it's a creative conversation, right? The relationship between a music composer and a director is very, very important. I remember Khuda Hafiz के बारे में अगर हम जब बात करें तो Farooq Kabir told me कि Mithun, I want you as, you know, as a co-narrator on the film. That's the kind of role you have to play in my film. And इसलिए we'll speak about that later, how in the lockdown I got together, and that's a very interesting story in itself. How this entire soundtrack was created online during the lockdown. That spontaneity, Faridun, जो बातचीत करते हैं आप, you know, you react. It's a creative conversation. A lot of people may not know this, but some of my biggest songs, you know, for example, Tum Hi Ho was created on a brief. You know, Mohit had narrated me the entire film. He had narrated me the scene, the impulse of the character, and how the film reaches that point, you know, just before the interval. And I'm not saying it should be the way for everyone that way. To each their own. Lekin I prefer to work this way.
You write lyrics as well. You understand the emotions behind the words, because music is not merely notations or a singer singing a song. It's a lot to do with emotions, and that is, I think, your specialty as well. Why is it important for you to just get into what we call it as skin of a song? Because you also mentioned that you like taking a bit of time in composing. You cannot be like an assembly line production who can just belt out song after song. You like to take your time, and I think it's important for you that your songs should be having a shelf life. That's what you've managed since the beginning of your career. Your songs, there have been momentous occasions where the songs that you've been part of, they are remembered. Where does that come from?
I think it comes from just being, you know, as an artist. I remember my father used to always tell me that तुम्हारा एक व्यू पॉइंट होना बहुत जरूरी है. और तुम्हारा एक मैसेज होना बहुत जरूरी है in your music. If your music doesn't have a message, it doesn't have an emotional quotient, then it will probably just be popular for some time and then fall flat, जैसा आप बता रहे हो. But if you have a message to it, then it will always linger on. And I've always tried to keep that emotional quotient barkarar with Faridun in my music. I've tried to say something. I've tried to, keep that conversation on with my listener. It's not just sonic content, but it's a conversation that I always like to engage with every soundtrack. And that's the reason, I've chosen to be, low profile. I've always let my work do the talking. But it's been 15 years now for me, right from Basikpal up to Kabir Singh and now Khuda Hafiz. But I'm grateful to God that my connect with the listener is very, very consistent. And I think that's very, very important.
Right. So talking about Khuda Hafiz, for example, the title track has been sung by Vishal Dublani. He has wonderful things to say about you as a composer, coming from a very fine composer himself. I'm sure that must be like a big high. If you can talk about the title track and what is the idea behind Khuda Hafiz, the title track.
Like to just slightly take you through what happened with Khuda Hafiz. I think then the context will come right. So I had signed this film last year and it was under production. And जैसे हम सब जानते हैं कि मार्च से जो है लॉकडाउन शुरू हो गया था. And after that there was no clarity over which film is going to release when, right? And we were initially told that it's going to take a while before things get back to normal. So we were all in our own creative spaces, following the lockdown and the social distancing norms. And is Doran mujhe, I got a call, I think around end of May. And Khuda Hafiz was one of the first 7 films which went on the OTT platform. Pre-production mein, I had just recorded one song and I had written a few ideas and I had kept, which the director and me, we had jammed over them. और हमने decide किया था कि once the film is shot, क्योंकि the film has a certain crispness to it, उसके मोमेंटम के मुताबिक we will write the music and we will set the songs according to the narrative. And मुझे याद है कि जब मुझे ये खबर मिली in by May end, by June first week the film's going on OTT and within 1 month we have to deliver the entire master. My first reaction was like कि ये तो हो ही नहीं पाएगा क्योंकि there are so many sessions which need to be done, there are so many singers I need to engage with, so many musicians, mixing, a lot of things which are involved in the process of music production. कहीं ना कहीं मेरे mind में I thought कि I've just recorded one song, I'll just release that to them and then let them go ahead क्योंकि मैं शायद कर नहीं पाऊंगा. But then the director Farooq Kabiri called me and he had a very long conversation with me and he really motivated me and kind of got me going in that sense. So मैंने यही सोचा Faridun that in these difficult times I think a leader would lead by action and I thought कि let's take up this challenge, let's do something that has never been done before, let's give out the message of hope. हम बात करते हैं कि everyone's talking about hope कि नहीं things will get better, but then I didn't want to take a passive decision. So I had a team meeting. I spoke to my team. I spoke to my engineer, Eric Pillai. So he devised this software. He came up with the idea of using the software called Session Wire, where we mix the entire soundtrack online. He in his studio, me in my studio, and we could work online. I recorded in literally 6 cities around the world. I had Vishal Dadani recorded in his farmhouse. Vishal Mishra was in Chandigarh. Sonu Nigam recorded in Dubai. And I work with music producers out of Arizona. One of my singers, Ahmed, he was in Los Angeles. And I was back in my studio. So this remotely we worked. It was a little new. जैसे आपने पहले भी कहा कि we all were learning. But I took it up to put out a message of hope. To tell I got many musicians also. I got them to go into isolated studios and record and send me stuff. जिन्होंने पहले ये कभी किया नहीं था, उनसे भी मैंने करवाया ये. Not for anything, just to keep the creative juices flowing, and it was a very, very beautiful human engagement that came across and it's come out very, very positively. So that's the entire USP, I think, of the soundtrack of Khuda Hafiz.
And I believe you have a music producer from Egypt as well.
Yes, a vocalist from Egypt, Ahmad. So he recorded, though he's based in Los Angeles, so he recorded his vocals on the title track back there in LA.
When they shot the film, so they did not have the songs with them at that point of time.
They didn't have all the songs. Myself and Farooq, we had detailed the film, discussed the film in detail, और हमने ideas काफी के ऊपर हमने काफी brainstorm किया था. And we had recorded one song and we had put together a few themes and a few emotions and a few lines here and there. because Farooq is also a very, very intense filmmaker, Faridun. I'm sure you spoke to him, and he works in a particular way which I really like myself. Very, very बहुत उसको क्या कहते हैं कि ना कि बहुत गाढ़े तरीके से काम करते हैं. So we had kept the ideas ready, and I had given him a few scratches to carry and to inspire him while he was shooting. But
Right.
we were going to set it to score only after he comes back with the film.
So, Khuda Hafiz title track, there is this haunting element into it, and that sense of longing. How important was that sense of longing?
I think longing is something that every one of us would relate to, because in our journey as human beings, we are constantly moving, and in our journey, there are a lot of things which get left behind. A lot of people, a lot of experiences, places, relationships, and there are a lot of things which we look ahead to also. There is a longing for many things that are yet to come. So that element is something that comes very, very naturally to me. Speaking about the title track, I think what Farooq wanted to convey was a certain hope, I think, Faridun, about the fact that, when the title song written by Saeed Qadri Saab, I love the way he brought the word Khuda Hafiz, and because Khuda Hafiz is a very, very musical word, it's got a beautiful tonality to it. So the way he brought it together, he said कि हम मिलेंगे फिर किसी दिन तब तलक.
Can you sing it? Sing it and explain.
You want me to sing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So it goes as हम मिलेंगे फिर किसी दिन तब तलक खुदा हाफिज ये जुदाइयां है कुछ दिन तब तलक खुदा हाफिज पल ये बीत जाएगा प्यार लौट आएगा वक्त का बहता ये दरिया फिर किनारे लाएगा याद रखना मुझको मौसिन तब तलक खुदा हाफिज ये जुदाइयां है कुछ दिन तब तलक खुदा हाफिज खुदा हाफिज.
Wonderful, fantastic. So you're actually pronouncing it as Khuda Hafiz. I saw one of your interviews. You said Zehen. Uh, Obviously, I'm sure that you would not like when people would say Khushi to Khushi, which I think tends to happen all the time. How important is talaffuz and pronunciation?
I mean, I think it's it goes without saying, Faridun, ki if you are using a particular language, you have to use it the way it is supposed to be done. I do understand that cultural influences can definitely be there. Like I grew up in Mumbai, and the kind of environment I grew up in, we didn't have that kind of exposure to say proper talaffuz of say Urdu language. But then I think that's how we come. That's why people in our life are very, very important. Like I was introduced to the Urdu language through the great Saeed Qadri Saab, and speaking to him and understanding the nuances of the language with him, it made a big difference in me. My Urdu is still not perfect, but what is important, sometimes it's also beyond pronunciation. While pronunciation is very important, Faridun, but I think sometimes even understanding the essence of the word. I remember I was having this conversation. I had the privilege one day when Ghulam Ali Khan Sahab had come to my studio, and it's something he just pointed out to me, and this was about a few years back, and he just told me that कि मिथुन तुम्हारे गानों में जो अल्फाजों को की जो निभाएगी है, the way you use the word, मुझे वो बहुत पसंद है. So coming from a legend like him and a knowledgeable man, it's something that I paid attention to. So yeah, I think talaffuz is very, very important. I think it also makes a lot of difference in the emotional communication. एक अल्फाज को जब आप सही तरीके से निभाते हो, it reaches the listener in the way it's supposed to reach. That makes a lot of difference, I think.
I think maybe that is one of the reasons for the longevity of your music, the way why people still like it, but why people like it over a period of time. I think maybe that is one of the reasons as well. Okay, when it comes to Jaan Ban Gaye, you're having the element of classical music. You like incorporating classical element from time to time. I think you started that with Anwar.
Ji, you're right.
I'm sure that you really enjoy it as well because it comes from your legacy, from your since your father has been, I think, a legendary, I think, music composer. Even your grandfather as well. I think he has been in this line for a long time. So do you enjoy the classical element whenever it is required and whenever it is incorporated?
Definitely, Faridun. I think that Hindustani classical music is, it is the base of everything that we can do. And I personally am a big devotee of Hindustani classical music. I love to explore it. In fact, I'm waiting to do a soundtrack, which is completely based on Hindustani classical music. So I've always liked exploring it, whether it is Anwar or, even a little bit in Jaan Ban Gaye, as you have noticed. But I'm actually waiting to do a full-fledged Hindustani classical soundtrack. I want to do a soundtrack which is completely inspired from Hindustani classical music. I think that's a connect that will never ever leave us because it is a part of who we are.
Absolutely. Okay, so what is the brief for Jaan Ban Gaye?
Jaan Ban Gaye, as we see, it's the love journey of the film. जैसे the trailer में आपने देखा होगा, the film it has a certain graph to it. But Jaan Ban Gaye is completely dedicated to the relationship between Sameer and Nargis. और कितने कम समय में वो मिलते हैं और उसका थॉट ही वो था कि कई बार ना फरीदुन, लोग कुछ रिश्ते जो है बहुत शिद्दत से हमारी जिंदगी में आते हैं and they have their own journey and they slowly seep into us, and sometimes you meet people in a very short amount of time. You might make a friend, you may know him only for 2 months, but you'll feel as if you know him for years. You feel as if you've known him for centuries. So that was the thought of Jaan Ban Gaye, कि somebody comes into a life, जैसे खुदा हाफिज में दिखाया है कि the girl is, it's an arranged marriage, but just in a matter of a few days he says कि आप हमारी जान बन गए, कि you just came suddenly and you just became the very foundation of my life. That was how Farooq wanted it to be. That was the thought, and he wanted it to be very Hindustani. He wanted it to be हमारे culture में पूरी तरीके से डूबा हुआ. He wanted that kind of very organic sound to the song. So that's how I've tried to keep it that way.
Okay, and so you also have Sonu Nigam in the album. He has sung one of the songs, and in one of your interviews, you've said that Sonu Nigam is the most technically sound singers that we have in India. Why do you say that?
Because that's the way I see it. I mean, his technique and his understanding of projection, his understanding of word delivery. I mean, it's immaculate, Faridun. And I said that he's one of the most technically sound singers because I believe that's the way it is. And when I recorded with him, I completely understood. He's actually sung the entire song in one take. So he spent a lot of time with me over FaceTime. We jammed in the song for a couple of days. And he heard me out and he heard out my thought behind the song and why I wrote it the particular way, why am I singing it in a particular way. We discussed, I sent him a recording in my vocals and he heard the song. I think that entire night he was jamming on it. And next day he hit the studio and I think in less than an hour we were through. He just sang the song. The most unique thing and we've kept it that way. It's a very undoctored take. We've kept the entire take and we discussed that also. And he also told me, Mithun, let's keep it as a song, because he sung it in one take, like a live performance. And we've tried to keep that human element alive of the song. So yeah, when a man has this kind of delivery, I have no reason to discount my words. So I completely stand by what I said.
What is the song called?
It's a song that's called Aakhri Kadam Tak.
Okay.
And it's about a promise, Faridun. It's about a promise that you could make to anybody in life. जिसके साथ आप जिंदगी भर चलने का वादा कर सकते हैं. ये गाना उसके लिए है. It's a song of vows. It's a song of vachan. It's a song of promising to stand by every season of life. So I can't reveal much about it because that's the only song that's left to come out. In fact, today as we speak, my third song from the soundtrack, a song called Mera Intezar Karna, my first collaboration with Armaan Malik is just coming out. In fact, as we speak, I think it must be out right now.
Armaan is, I think, a very interesting singer because I think the growth that he's showing is phenomenal from where he started off and where he has reached. Constantly learning.
Yeah, I agree with you, Faridun. I have observed his journey very closely. I had met him years back when he was just starting out. And the good thing about Arman is he was always very focused about what he wanted to do. And he always had a point of view. मुझे याद है वो पहली बार भी मेरे जब स्टूडियो पर आया था, काफी साल पहले की बात है ये. हम लोग डिस्कस कर रहे थे about a song and he had a very strong point of view about his music and how he wants to do music and how he sees film music. मुझे लगता है जो बहुत अच्छी बात है. And वो ऐसे घराने से आता है जहाँ पे संगीत मतलब he also has a legacy. His grandfather, Shri Sardar Malik Saab is a veteran composer and he's done some amazing work. तो उस legacy को समझने वाला जो गहराई आई है उसके अंदर, I think it's come from his legacy. And at the same time, he's adapted so well to, how today's listener reacts to his music and his connect with his listeners. I think it's a very good combination of foundation and improvisation.
There is this entire talk right now about maybe there are certain corrections that are required in the music industry. Mr. Rahman, whom you idolize as well, he has said recently that he has experienced a certain amount of groupism maybe, and certain rumors were spread around him. How do you look at this talk that is happening? Sonu Nigam has said about music mafia, and he has his concerns. How do you look at this entire conversation that is taking place right now around music?
I think any conversation is good, Faridun. As a society, we should definitely have conversations about any topic. About if anybody has had an experience, they're definitely coming from a place of honesty because they must have experienced something. Otherwise, why would anybody waste their time and anybody's time and engaging people for no reason? So I definitely think that civilized conversations should happen, and as a society, we need to have these. As a fraternity also, we need to have these conversations. That said and done, we also need to understand the way I see it is कि one fraternity can have many different mindsets. There are a lot of people, बहुत सारे लोग शामिल हैं और जरूरी नहीं कि हर किसी की सोच एक दूसरे से मिले. I may think in a particular way, my priorities may be different, my expectations may be different, and everybody is different that way. So I personally would not like to define the entire fraternity based on one experience. Even it could be my experience also. I may have had a damp experience on some particular matter, for example, but that doesn't define the entire fraternity. So I think we should understand that different people have had different journeys and different experiences with different people at different points of time. And that should not completely label the fraternity. It's about different things happening at different points of time. And these conversations, if somebody has had an experience like this, so these conversations should happen and they should lead to making it a better environment, a more communicative environment, and a more compassionate environment. But that can only come through conversation. There is no other way through it.
You said a very important thing about the civilized conversation part of it. So how important is it to maybe have differences but still retain your dignity and not compromise?
I think it's something that we don't even need to. I think it's basic, right? हम जब इंसान है, when we are human beings, it just goes without saying that there are certain qualities in life which should be part of what makes us human. Somebody once asked a very great man, saying that कि आप महात्मा बनने चले हो. तो that great man replied कि मैं एक महात्मा तो पता नहीं, इंसान बन जाओ वही बहुत बड़ी बात है. So I think the word insan itself, I think we are obligated to these things. We are obligated to God to deliver all these things on a basic level. Everybody is not genius. Everybody cannot be a master, but everybody can be kind. Everybody can be considerate. Everybody can be humane. I think that's something that gift is given to every one of us. And I think all of us should make an effort to keep that alive inside us.
You've been part of the film industry for a long time. Your father has been part of the film industry for a long time. When you hear the conversation in the media these days around the film industry, and it has been called the dirtiest industry ever, and all sorts of names are being name calling is taking place, and maybe as you mentioned about the civilized conversation part of it is surely missing. How do you feel? What is your state of mind when you just listen to these conversations and hear just shouting taking place, and the film industry is called names?
As I said, Faridun, I think that an entire fraternity consists of a lot of mindsets. There are lots. Whatever I have seen in the fraternity, there are people with different kinds of mindsets, and I've had different experiences. There can be a particular talk of people's particular experiences, or somebody has had a good or a bad experience. But I don't think it's right to label the entire fraternity for that. This is the same fraternity where some of the greatest examples of victory and human victory are also there, right? We've got stories of people who have fought against all odds, and they've risen above every other challenge. And this is the same fraternity which has given acceptance to so many people, and made them heroes in the actual sense of the word, and which is a great thing. So yes, I'm not discounting anybody's experience. I'm sure people go through something, they have the right to voice it, and they should voice it, because unless we don't have that conversation, how will we address it? But I think it's not right. I personally I do not relate to the concept of the entire fraternity being labeled for it, because there are a lot of people over here who stand for what is right, and they fight for what is right, and they make sure that everything is done in the right way.
All right. Now, you are one of the very few music composers who likes to arrange his own music as well. A.R. Rahman Saab does that. I don't know how many other music composers, they tend to arrange their own music. Why is it so important for you to arrange your own compositions?
That's something that just comes with my lineage, because as you know, Faridun, my father has been a very celebrated music arranger of his times. He's arranged music for one of the biggest composers of his times. And that's something which came to me naturally. In fact, before I turned composer, when I was in college, I would always ask my friends, who were in college with me, and my co-musicians, I would tell them that give me your song, I'll arrange it and give it back to you. I was very, very fond of that, the science of music arrangement. Even the arrangements of the way Lakshmikant Perilal would arrange their songs was always a big talk. How they would have arrangements for a different arrangement for a Raj Kapoor film, a different arrangement for a Subhash Ghai film, or a different arrangement for a Manmohan Desai film. These it's a very beautiful science, I think, Faridun, which I think aspiring composers should understand also, of how you create a texture and tonality. Aaj ke time mein what has happened is, because of music production becoming software oriented, उसका दायरा बहुत छोटा हो गया है, but I would probably motivate myself and other musicians also to kind of break that barrier, because arrangement brings a lot of personality to your song. बहुत सारे लोग अलग-अलग तरीके से सोचते हैं, लेकिन गाने का उसका जो फैब्रिक होता है वो अरेंजमेंट से बाहर निकल के आता है. So you can add a lot more personality to your song if you can start arranging it yourself. That's the way I see it, and I enjoy doing that myself. So that's one reason.
All right. So one last question. We've spoken about that in the past, and I think I find that fascinating in your music. You have a very minimalistic approach when it comes to the use of instruments. Whenever an instrument is really required, it is there. Otherwise, you just keep it as minimalistic as possible. Why is it important for you?
I think it's more to do with the style. Faridun, कई बार क्या होता है कि I think in music, silence is very important in music as well, because sometimes it's not the note which connects with the listener, but the silence after the note where the listener actually you win him. That's the reason even when I do my my edits and stuff like that, I always keep a very close check on it, because sometimes people tend to, when they think if the note is just holding the same, or they feel that there's no vocal away, they tend to chop it out. And I really get annoyed at these kind of things, and I call up and I get it done the way I want. Because I feel silence is a very, very important element in music. It's very, very important. That's where the listener actually, you can actually embrace the listener in the silences. So you can take his attention with your notes, but you actually embrace him with your silences. So
we cannot end this interview without this very, very crucial question: that how many heartbreaks have you had? Because you are known to be, I think, a pro when it comes to heartbreak songs. People love to listen to your heartbreak songs and cry and wallow in their self-identification. How many heartbreaks have you had?
Okay, so I have, I've been through my share of my experiences in life, but it's never been that way, Faridun. I remember I was 22 when I sang Zindagi ne zindagi bhar gam diye, जितने भी मौसम दिए सब नम दिए. सो उस टाइम पे भी मुझे लोग बोलते थे ना, उसमें लाइन है सईद कादरी साहब का लिखा हुआ है कि राह में पत्थर मेरी हर दम दिए. तो लोग मुझे पूछते थे कि आपने 22 साल की उम्र में इतने कौन से पत्थर झेल लिए कि आप ये सब गा रहे हो. बट आई थिंक more than my personal experiences, sometimes an artist he reflects what he sees in society. तो मैं समाज में जो चीजें देखता हूँ, मेरे आसपास जो चीजें देखता हूँ, whatever I see in my friends, I may see, a very passionate lover in my friend. I may see a very devoted wife in my friend, and I would want to celebrate her through my songs. I may see a very devoted son. I may see a great professional so committed to his craft, and I would want to celebrate him through my music. So yeah, everything's not only about me, but it's also about me reflecting society and reflecting anything that I want to reflect in my music. So that's why
Right.
those various layers have come out.
So Mithun, as always, wonderful talking to you. Thank you very much for your time. And I must tell my audience that he's one of the very a rare artist who does not believe in doing too many shows. His music is purity for him, much more than money and other paraphernalia that is attached to glamour. So, which is, I think, always very, very respectable. And as I've mentioned in the beginning, your music will live on and will outlast you. I think that is definitely a huge achievement for any artist. So, congratulations for that, and thank you once again.
Thank you, Faridun.